actually one little command line on the graphics device to change to multi-sampling. There's actually a bunch of stuff you have to do to make that happen. That's where XNA comes in. We have a framework, and we could teach our customers all of the esoteric around setting all this stuff on the Xbox, but we think they'd rather probably just make a game. And so we just go ahead, and if you want to turn multi-sampling on, well, here's a command to do it. One line, set it to true, you're all good to go. Can you tweak it? Sure. We actually expose all the low-level stuff as well. So if 2x multi-sample or 4x multi-sample isn't enough for you, you can go in and add any number of samples. There's ways to catch the presentation parameters before they go down to the device and actually change it to whatever you'd like it to be.
Cool.
So here you can see we have the ships, and we're happily blowing things up and not burning into the sun.
It looks like it's Space 4 a two-player game?
Yes, this is. So if you plug in another controller, we'll actually, the other person can play. Part of the fun of this is we actually have some AI on the enemy ship here. Basically, its job is to fall into the sun for you. You would think that it would be very difficult to lose to this AI. However, several people on the team have actually lost to the fall into the sun AI because they've actually flown their ship into the sun multiple times, which led one of the developers to actually think that maybe the sun should be a third player and it should get the benefit of the kills if you can't actually kill them yourself. After you've finished a game of Space War, you actually have the opportunity to purchase new weapons. So based on how many kills you get that many times $1,000 to be able to go buy weapons. And
there's a joke right there.
Yeah, exactly. The more observant in our audience will note that the weapons are named after a certain device that might have been the originator of this particular game. And however, the weapons are a little bit more advanced than perhaps were capable of back in that day. So
this is only using one of the Xbox's oscilloscopes.
Yes, only one of the oscilloscopes is going with this one here. So you can actually see.
So you got the upgrade there.
Yeah, this one actually fires lots and lots of bolts. Oh, and then that's
right
how you
into
lose
the
to
sun.
the sun. That's how you lose to the sun.
Can you tell me about how many lines of code this game is?
So this is about probably 8,000 on a bad day.
So it doesn't take that much to put together, a game where you've got this floating nebulous background. You've got the sun that seems to beat everybody.
Yes.
So I would imagine about 6,000 lines is just the AI for the sun.
Right. The sun is
pulling people into it.
Is clearly very advanced in this game. But we're doing real collision detection. We have collision detection between the bolts and the asteroids and the ships. For example.
Is that built into XNA? Is there the concept of a sprite and of a...
So there isn't that concept, but there is the concept of a lot of the 3D stuff in terms of collision detection that we do have for you. So we'll generate bounding spheres, bounding boxes for you. We have code to actually collide those together for you. And these ships, for example, are very long and narrow, and so probably a sphere isn't the best way to represent these ships. So the ships actually have multiple spheres denoting them, and we actually have that code in there to show you how to lay down multiple spheres on a very long object, so you don't have to worry about, I've got to figure out how to rotate a box in 3D and all of that stuff. We go ahead and try to give you a hint for that.
Oh, look at that, you won.
And so when you
beat
win,
the sun this time.
I beat the sun and the AI. As you can see, you get a little splash screen here that says you win, and then you get to restart if you would like to, and see. Again, that way.
And look at that! Look at that!
Isn't that
Neapolitan game? That's what it's called, Neapolitan game.
That's right. Space War Neapolitan.
Well, yeah, that's sort of an afterthought right there, but Neapolitan
but the important
game.
part is clearly.
Well, very cool.
So we can also, as you see, we can just exit these and go back. So another cool thing that XNA does allow you to do is once you have compiled these games and placed them onto your Xbox, you don't have to go and run off and grab your dev kit and hook your PC up and have everything work again. Instead, once the game is deployed to the Xbox, we can actually just run it whenever we want using our game browser.
Because it's just sitting out there on the hard drive and ready to go.
And it's all ready to go. So we can just decide, for example, this was Space War that we just ran. And we'll demonstrate that by showing you the magic Napoleon again.
So it's the same Space War.
So it's the same Space War that we just ran. We can also, this is the Xbox 360 Game 1 that we just created with our starter kit. Note that whatever you name the game, obviously will propagate to the Xbox, so your game's name will show up.
I love this game, just blue.
Just blue.
It's relaxing. I like that. It's a relaxing game. It just kind of blues at you.
Never has 1080p been utilized at that level of quality, I think. And then the racer game is also here. The other cool thing is that, again, we are a full-fledged real Xbox client, and those are actually sitting in real content stores. So if you want to get rid of a game, for example, you've decided that the little Cornflower Blue game is really lovely, but I don't want it anymore. You can go into the XNA game launcher here, and it actually shows you all the games that are associated with our game launcher.
Nice.
So you can see the Xbox 360 game 1 is only 72K, so it's not using a lot of disk space. But again, you may not want it there anymore, so you can just go ahead and say, yeah, get rid of that. I really don't need it. And yes, I want to permanently delete it. And there it goes, all gone. So you can keep whatever games you want. You can see XNA Racer's pretty big, Space War's pretty big. You do,
yeah, 73 megs.
Yeah, exactly. We do require the hard drive for this, so you can't really. You can do stuff with the memory unit. We do allow you to write save games and so forth using the XNA frameworks. So you can store off high scores. You could store off the gamer settings if they picked a different shader model, or if they wanted a different starting piece of music or something like that. You can save all those. Those will all get saved as save games exactly the same way as Xbox understands save games, and be able to do everything. Going forward, we want to add some live support. There is a significant number of people in the Xbox organization that would love to see us support the camera, that would love to see us support the wheel with force feedback. All of those kinds of things are almost certainly coming. It's just a question of when and how quickly we can whip them up. So.
Seriously though, Frank, I mean, when this comes out, I mean, and it's done and it's packaged and it's RTM and all that, people are just going to be so happy. Maybe there won't be wheel support, maybe there won't be camera support out of the box right off the bat, but yet, I mean, to be able to do this is just going to blow people away.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is really
I'm
cool.
pretty blown away.
I'm spoiled.
Here,
I've had an Xbox dev kit since Xbox One. I joined the Xbox One team about 4 months before launch of Xbox One, so I've had a dev kit forever, and I've always been able to kind of muck with the Xbox and do kind of whatever I like. But to not have to take the dev kit home, to not have to try to actually lift one from here and bring it back every day, because they don't really allow you to have 8 dev kits, is awesome. I mean, just be able to go home, be able to do retail games, or games on a retail kit. Actually, can't really sell them yet. Maybe yet. There are plans. We've talked a lot about how do we share this? How does the community build itself up, and how do we share Xbox games? From the start here, the only way you're going to be able to do it is somebody's going to have to give you the project with all the source code. You can compile it, and it'll deploy to your Xbox. Then, as long as you never delete it, you'll be able to play their game as long as you want. But right now, you're sharing the source and everything else in order to be able to do that. And wouldn't it be cool if right here on this little blade there was something that said, XNA community sharing?
That would be cool, yeah. If you could just go right in there and grab other people's games, yeah.
See what other games people have been making. Wouldn't it be cool if your gamer tag started to reflect the fact that you were an XNA developer, and there was some other magic ranking that showed up there as I have done this many community games. We're now talking 2+ years out to see a lot of this stuff, but the sky's the limit. I mean, we're really trying to do what I think the game industry has needed for a significant period of time, which is there are lots of people with really great game ideas. Problem is they can't do anything with them or about them, and that's wrong. We should enable those game developers to be able to make the games that they envision and that they dream about. Whether it's 2.5D marble matching games or things of that nature, all the way out to the next first-person shooter that's going to go after Halo. The gameplay, a lot of it's going to show up here. I think you're going to be able to do a lot of the stuff we certainly have seen right now, even before we've even launched, that the performance characteristics of an Xbox One we can do in managed code with the GPU that's here. And in fact, to a large extent, something like XNA Racer would be nearly impossible on Xbox One, because we have a much more powerful graphics unit. And
you just did it in managed code, and very, very cool.
Yep.
So when is that going to ship? Are you allowed to say, or is that not something? In fact, actually, I won't pester you with those questions.
It will be before Christmas.
Okay, all right.
The exact date, I think, is still may still be secret, and so I better not say.
Okay, that's understandable.
I like my job.
I like your job too, actually. As a matter of fact, Frank Savage. Yep.